Get over here!
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to what I'm going to assume is the final episode of Let's Play Kirby's Epic Yarn. We're finally here.
Yep.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. We missed a few weeks of recording this one. I had some wedding invitations to fill out last week.
Oh, I did not know you could hit these guys. Hang on. Huh. Go figure.
Doesn't look like it hurt him very much.
Nah, probably not. But anyway, yeah, we're basically going to go ahead and use this final episode to kind of get 100% on everything. This could take a while, so this could potentially be a very long episode. But I'm prepared for it.
Yep, I got questions.
Alright then, so let's say we go ahead and get started.
Alright. By the way, he's the Green Scorpion and I'm the ComicFoil.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that, didn't we?
I know how you like to say that every time.
Yeah, but these people know who we are.
Well, I'm happy to say our first question here comes from a good friend of ours, Joe Zinkevich. Am I saying... Joe, I never say your name right.
Zenkevich, I think, is how it's pronounced. At least as far as he's told me.
Joe, I've known you for years, and I've kind of avoided saying your last name out loud. I hate to tell you this way. I haven't seen Joe in a long time.
I miss the guy.
I hope you get to come to my wedding.
As far as I'm concerned, he is. Yeah, to explain to anyone who doesn't know, Joe has been a very good friend of ours since high school. We've known him from theater, basically.
And now he's living in Florida?
Yep.
But, his question is, since you play D&D, was there ever a campaign which you regretted ending? Or on the flip side, was there ever a campaign that you really wanted to end immediately?
There's a legitimate answer for both of those, actually, yes.
I think I have at least
so yeah,
one of each,
like,
yeah.
I think our audience knows that we're pretty avid D&D players.
Yeah, I'd like to be more avid, but, you know, there's only so much time.
You've had a lot of time, you've had a lot of time being eaten up in your life that, like, running a campaign or being a part of a campaign has been kind of impossible for you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm actually running a campaign of my own with the group I hang out with on Skype, and I'm also a player in Joe's campaign currently. But no, there are answers to those questions. As far as a campaign that I regret not finishing, or that I really didn't want to end, was two in particular. One that was run by Joe, and another that was actually run by you. What? Why do I have a feeling that? Let me check something. Okay, no, never mind. Let me start over. For one campaign that I really did not want to end was a seafaring campaign. That you run.
Oh, mine, yeah, Southern Isles.
Say it again?
That's what I would call it, the Southern Isles.
Yeah, the Southern Isles, that's it.
Or the Search for Paradise.
That's it, yeah, because I was playing one of my favorite characters that I've ever made for D&D. His name is Locke. He's like this lycanthrope mercenary, and it was really convenient too, because like we had to keep track of the lunar cycles, not just because of Locke's transformation, but also because, like, you know, hey, seafaring campaign, so...
Yeah, the tides were important, and there were different things about the campaign that were on a, like, moon timer.
Dang it. Yeah, so that was really cool, but unfortunately, because of scheduling issues, we couldn't really continue that campaign. Especially because, we were doing it on Roll20, right?
Yeah, which is like Skype plus... playing board games. Unfortunately,
at the time, like, we were all in college and things started to pick up to the point where we just couldn't continue it anymore. It sucked, but I really, really did like that campaign. The other one was the Sky Pirate campaign, where the one that Joe ran.
You're picking the same two that I was going to pick, actually.
Yeah, because, like, those campaigns were really awesome. You were playing, like, this Oread sniper.
Yeah, so Oread, that's a, like, somebody with Earth Elemental in his background, so he was kind of, like, he wasn't a golem, but he was, like, a human with kind of stony skin, and he was a gunslinger. He had a rifle.
Yeah, that was a really cool character, and I was playing this character called Tatiana, who was she was a human, but she was like this blood magus.
Yeah.
Like, she would, like, use blood-related spells, and she would, like, apply damage to her scythe.
And she was a demon hunter.
She was a demon hunter, actually. Because of some family relations. Unfortunately, again, because of scheduling issues, we couldn't continue that campaign either.
We had to have been, like, towards the end, too. It seemed like we were getting to either the finale or, like, the beginning of the last arc.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, we were literally on the boat to go to
Just
what we thought was the final showdown.
It's unfortunate, really, because I really did like that campaign a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I've been in a lot of campaigns, but the only one I ever actually completed was the one ran by Joe when I was playing this character named Klein. He was like this very stuck-up paladin. Not your typical, like, he definitely wasn't your typical, I seek justice type of paladin. He was a very cynical paladin. Like, he knew the evils of the world, but he did what he felt was right anyway. That kind of thing. It was actually really interesting. But, as for a campaign that I really, really just wanted to end, oh, do I have to go through?
Yeah, I think it's a door.
Oh.
I like how these are using all the, like, vehicle power-ups.
Yep. Well, I didn't complete that one. But,
oh, no!
But, one campaign in particular that I actually did want to end, I'm not going to name any names on this one because it was a bit of a personal issue, but, there was one campaign where I played this blind monk. It was a really cool setup. Unfortunately, things got a little testy.
Personal.
Things got a little testy with the players in that campaign to the point where no one was really having any fun anymore.
Mine is a similar story there. I was actually DMing mine that I kind of wanted to end, and it like fell through due to scheduling conflicts, but nobody, or at least I wasn't trying particularly hard to make it work because it felt like nobody was having enough fun to justify how much time was going into it. Oh, wow, this is rough.
Is there a way to go faster? Oh, you can hold the button. That's good to know. But, yeah. Admittedly, though, there was another campaign that I was running that I kind of wanted to end for very similar situation, actually. It's, I'm actually using the same setup that I used for that campaign for a campaign that I'm running now. But again, it was because of personal issues between certain players that just made the whole experience just sour. And like, that's not like, I'm not trying to call anyone out on it or anything like that, but just again, when players start to bring their personal issues into the game, it becomes, that starts to become an issue.
Yeah, and like, on a certain level, this is, you know, supposed to be a chance for escape. You know, you shouldn't be bringing your real world problems into... Like, everybody's trying to have a good time.
Yeah, and if that's something that you can't really, like, keep in mind, then... Oh, man, like, I've gotten a lot of stories about a lot of problem players.
I was about
particularly
to say,
from Joe.
I've never had too many, like, real problem players. Like, who either... I mean... I've had my friends who are rules lawyers or who disengage with a story a little bit too easily or who, you know, sort of play kind of selfishly and make the game annoying for other characters or who min-max when that's not the kind of campaign it is, but none of them have ever, like, really ruined a campaign for me.
No, I'm the same way. Like, I've had a couple of players that I can think of that, like, became issues, but they didn't become, like, necessarily quote-unquote problems.
Yeah, it didn't become, like, I don't want to play with this person anymore. Well,
like,
I can think of one, but...
I can think of a couple.
But that's, like, that was never what killed a campaign for me.
I can think of a couple of scenarios where it was like, oh, I just, like, I can see why no one would want to play with this guy or this guy, but I've mainly heard stories. I've never actually had an experience like that myself personally.
I actually really like playing D&D with people who are less experienced with it, too. Because, I don't know, it's just always fun bringing, like, new blood, like,
I feel the same way, actually. Like,
they're gonna bring something to your group that, like, if you've all been playing D&D for so long, you've, like, locked yourself into a certain way of doing things, and having a fresh perspective would be really interesting.
I'm actually really happy to say that Amber joined the campaign that Joe was running, where I played the character Paladin Klein, and she was playing this this elven druid. She named Volkadov.
That was the fire druid, right?
Yeah, that was a fire druid. And Amber holds the distinction. I mean, she's only been necessarily in one campaign. Like, she's in the campaign I'm running currently, but she holds the distinction of being one of the few D&D players blessed with the experience of having completed every single D&D campaign she's ever been a part of.
Huh.
That's
a talent.
No, the campaign that I was in with that Joe ran was the only campaign. Oh snap! Zero gravity.
Yeah, the only campaign.
That was the only one I was actually ever able to complete because we manage it. Like, we somehow managed to do it.
Yeah, I've only ever seen the completion of one campaign that wasn't like a one-shot specifically. And
yeah, one-shots are basically just, oh my god, this is hard.
One-shots are like, we're doing this adventure today, and wherever it ends, that's like the end of this, you know.
And like, I think one-shots are really nice for people who want to get their feet wet with D&D. I don't know, like, I was never big into one-shots because I get too attached to my characters.
I was trying to get a thing going between us and our friends. Now I don't think it would be possible. We're all too busy. But where we could have just basically weekly one-shots that would all take place maybe in the same not too well-defined world. So that it would be a different, like, mission each week. And if you want, you could keep making new characters, or you could go back to one of like, oh, I like this this ranger that I made. I want to try this character again.
I actually brainstormed something about that a little while ago, in that it would be a very Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Final Fantasy Tactics setup.
Yeah.
Where it'd be like you'd be part of a guild. And you can make multiple characters, and all of them
every
would be a part
character
of this
everybody
guild.
made would be a member of the guild.
Exactly.
And if they didn't die, they'd be sitting in the guild or doing other business.
Yeah, and they'd be a part of the guild, but if they're not, if the player is unavailable for that week in particular, then they'll sit out on that mission, you know? That kind of thing.
I mean, I can also understand, having DM'd a lot, that sometimes you're like a real auteur about your D&D world, though, and you like want to make this huge sprawling story. I love making huge sprawling stories. The problem is you never finish them.
There's the rub when it comes to being a DM.
The Seafaring campaign was a giant story, and we got maybe 3/5 through the entire story I wanted to tell. You were supposed to collect 7 birds of paradise before you could go to the last place, and I think you guys had 3 of them. Yeah,
see, like, I'm running a campaign where you're supposed to find, like, these stones. I only have, like, 5 of them. And so far, my party has 2 of them, and they're about to get the 3rd. But yeah, no, DMing's fun, D&D is fun, being a player is fun, but yeah, I've had those campaigns where I wish it didn't end, and then there are those campaigns where it's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Those, like, the Seafaring campaign and the airship campaign are definitely 2 that I wish I could have continued, but wasn't possible. And then there's the one where, like, I played the blind monk. That is just like, that did not work out at all because of personal issues. So that was a long question.
Yeah, good question, Joe.
Yeah, no, like,
it makes me want to talk more about D&D, but I also know this is probably our last Epic Yarn episode, and I want to get to more user questions.
Which is fine. Like, we can talk about, like, I actually, to anyone who wants to know about D&D and stuff, like, here's the thing. We love talking about Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, give us your Dungeons & Dragons questions. We'll probably answer them.
Oh, absolutely. Alright, so, let's move on to the next question, shall we?
Alright, so this question is... Oh, man, I kind of lost it. Wait. Okay, so this is a multi-part question from Kevin Millam.
Alright.
Who asks, have you played Shovel Knight and the additional campaigns? Are you looking forward to the King of Cards campaign? Who is your favorite member of the Order of No Quarter?
Alright, so one at a time.
Not really. I've, like, played around with the original, but I've never played through it. It's been sitting on my desktop for a long time.
So you've never actually played through Shovel Knight?
No, at this point I'm actually waiting for King of Cards to come out, and I'm gonna get the whole treasure trove and knock it all out in one setting.
Me, on the other hand, I have played through Shovel Knight, and I have played through all of the campaigns.
I have watched a full Let's Play of the original Shovel Knight. The main campaign.
But yeah, like, I played through Shovel Knight, I played through,
Spectre of Torment.
Spectre of Torment,
and
I played
Plague
through...
of Shadows.
Yeah. All of which I very much enjoyed. Spectre of Torment in particular was really cool because playing as Spectre Knight is actually a thrill. Plague Knight was great. I actually really find him very interesting. He was really, really tough to get a handle on, though, because his playstyle is drastically different from Shovel Knight's.
I do like, not having direct experience with the game, I do like how there's so many different, like, NES games that clearly influenced the development of Shovel Knight.
Oh, absolutely.
And, Plague of Shadows adds another one, which is Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, because, like, I actually remember seeing a video from Gaijin Goomba explaining how Spectre Knight is totally a ninja.
Oh, it's the Heavy Lobster. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Or no, the combo cannon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I really, really like Shovel Knight. I am looking forward to King Knight's campaign.
Me too.
Admittedly, though, King Knight doesn't interest me all that much. I honestly think he was, like, he's one of the least interesting characters, in my opinion, when it comes to the Order of No Quarter. But I like him.
But maybe this story will make him interesting, is the thing. If I had to pick one more Order of No Quarter member to give a story to, it would not have been King Knight. But...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You want to know who I think? You want to know who I think actually deserves it?
Yeah.
Treasure Knight.
Oh, that's a neat thought.
I actually really, really like Treasure Knight. But if I were to pick my favorite member of the Order of No Quarter, that's tough.
Okay, wait, let me go through them real quick.
Yeah.
So we got Spectre Knight, Plague Knight, King Knight, Treasure Knight, Polar Knight, Mole Knight, Tinker Knight, Propeller Knight.
Right. Of all of those, I think my favorite is probably Polar Knight.
Okay.
Because, yeah, he's not the most interesting of the Order of No Quarter, until you realize that he and Shovel Knight used to be good friends. So what happened? I want to know about that.
Yeah, because they both use shovels.
Yeah, like, and that's really interesting. Like, I saw the pre-battle dialogue between him and Shovel Knight, and I'm like, suddenly I want to know more. Like, give us a campaign that, like, maybe tells us about how he became a member of the Order of No Quarter and why he's willing to take up arms against an old comrade, you know?
If the problem is that he was too big, that, like, they couldn't think of a playstyle with someone that big, they could have him, like, be younger and less buff.
Yeah, something like that.
They changed how... Because when you actually fight Spectre Knight in the main campaign, you know, he has the cloak and he flies around, and that's not how you play as him in Spectre of Torment. But, I mean, I'm not really trying to yell at Yacht Club Games for not doing anything, because
no, absolutely
because
not.
everything
Like,
they do is gold.
No, at the end of the day, like, it's their game. Like, they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
But, like, again, like, that's just human nature when it comes to gamers. Like,
we always want more.
Yeah, we always want more, and we would like to see this, we would like to see that. But I'm very much still looking forward to King Knight's campaign, because, like, hey, maybe this campaign will actually, like, give him something that may actually make me like him.
Yeah, because that's kind of what was going on with Plague Knight and Spectre Knight. It's like, oh wow, these two were more interesting than we even thought they were.
Like, I freaking loved Spectre Knight the instant I saw him because I thought he was really cool. But, like, I didn't think much of Plague Knight until I actually played through Plague of Shadows, and I realized, oh my god, this guy is a hopeless romantic and an absolute dork.
I think my favorite, though, is actually Tinker Knight.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, I like my robots.
That does not surprise me in the least.
It's not because of robots, though, because it's not, you know, it's a mech suit. It's not like a self-intelligent robot kind of thing, but he's also still a techie, and I like techies.
Absolutely. Okay, so we completed Beatrix's missions.
Nice.
So moving on to the next one, I believe... geez, I don't remember. Oh, it's Carrie, so we gotta carry her to the end of the stage. But yeah.
There was one more part of that question, actually, that I didn't read yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you think Spectre Knight deserves an honorable mention among your top 10 scythe wielders?
Absolutely.
I've thought a lot...
Without question.
Because these are the things I think about all the time, I have thought about, like, if we were to redo Weapons Months, and we couldn't use any of the characters we used before, like any of the 11 characters, because we also have the, like, 10 more and 11 more. So, like, what other 10 characters for, like, scythes would I pick, or for swords I would pick? And Spectre Knight was one of those. Like, this isn't even my first time thinking about it. Spectre Knight would be at least in the next top 10.
Oh yeah, no, Spectre, like, a lot of Scythe Wielders came out that, like, or that we figured out about after we made Scythe Wielders that I kind of would like to make that countdown again. We have, like, Gordeau from, like, Under Night in Birth. There's freaking,
You got a Gehrman from Bloodborne.
Yeah, or Sister Freed as well.
I've finally played Darksiders 2.
Yeah, so there's,
that version of Death.
There's, like, Death. Yeah, no, there's, like, so much potential, for other,
I could do another 10 Scythe Wielders easily. I could do another 10 of pretty much any weapon. The only one that would be a little challenging right now is, the Battle Painters.
Yeah. But no, like, there's plenty of Scythe Wielders. Like, freaking, League of Legends came out with Kayn.
Yeah.
Which would, like, easily make the list.
Yeah, also, I'd say Plague Knight is actually more deserving than a lot of people who were on our top 10 Scythe Wielders. Oh, sorry, Spectre Knight.
Oh, Spectre Knight, yeah.
Spectre Knight is more deserving than some of the characters that were on there. That was our very first Weapons Month, and that was when we
didn't have a clear-cut, idea. Like, we didn't have a clear-cut format of, like, how we actually were gonna go about these countdowns. It was just a cool idea that we really, really wanted to do, so we went with it.
It was more like we thought of 10 choices off the top of our heads and then research those.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now what we do is we think of as many as we can, research all of them, and pick our best 10.
Essentially, yeah.
So, like, we missed a lot doing top 10 Scythe Wielders. And that's why, like, there's no Piastol originally and stuff like that. Okay, I gotta find another question. I put my phone away, I don't know why I did that.
It's fine. But, yeah, I'm, to anyone who has not played, Shovel Knight and is looking for a really, really good platformer / adventure game, highly recommend it. If you played, like, the likes of Ninja Gaiden or Castlevania and enjoyed those games, you will love, Shovel Knight. Like, easy.
I have a question here from somebody named Nickel Knight. Or sorry, Nickel Guy.
Nickel Guy. Okay.
Yeah. Just want to point out that Quarter Guy is 5 times the man you are.
Nah.
He asks, who is your favorite character in RWBY? Can't say I've watched RWBY, so...
I don't remember if we actually answered this question before. If we have, okay. If not, then I guess we can reiterate. Favorite character from RWBY is easily Jean Arc. I appreciate underdog characters, and Jean Arc is easily that. I love the fact that he's referenced to, you know, the classic Joan of Arc. And he's just charming, honestly. Like, I find him really entertaining. He's got a really good amount of growth. I love that, like, in a world filled with, like, crazy gun weapons and, like, you know, these crazy powers that everyone has, he's just the guy who has, like, a sword and shield, and yet he manages to get by with, like, tactical know-how and things like that. Also, he has some of the more developed character arcs, quote-unquote, in the entire series. A couple of other characters that I really do like. I love Lai Ren. Mainly because he's this really stoic ninja, and he's really, really freaking awesome. I love not Pyrrha. I do love Pyrrha. Honestly, the entire team freaking what's the team Juniper. Overall, I just really like that team because I also like Nora, who's basically a reference to Thor, and she's 10 tons of fun.
I know there's a character named Oobleck who's like a big Dr. Seuss reference.
Dr. Oobleck is amazing! Like, if you ever want to see something in RWBY and want to be entertained, just look up clips of Dr. Oobleck. He is tons of fun just from his interactions. Honestly, like, I care more about the side characters in RWBY than I actually care about Team RWBY, to be honest. Like, I don't mind the characters, mind you. Like, I'm okay with characters like, I like characters like Blake and, like, Yang and stuff like that, and, like, I do love RWBY, but I care more about the other characters, to be honest, because, to me, they're more interesting. Team Juniper in particular, like, I love Pyrrha, and I'm sad that, you know, things happened. I'm not gonna say what it is for the sake of spoilers. Love Jean, love Nora, love Lai Ren. Yeah, those are the characters that I really like. Aside from that, like, I like most of the cast. Yeah, that's pretty much the general gist of it. Favorite character in the series? Definitely Jean Arc.
Cool. I know of 3 characters who are RWBY, Yang, and Oobleck.
Yeah.
So.
No, Dr. Oobleck's great. Like, that I will say. Like, I wish we could see more of him, because if I'm going to be completely honest, like, with the recent seasons of, RWBY, the recent seasons of RWBY are way too serious for their own good, and I just want to see Dr. Oobleck so that he can lighten up the mood a bit. Seriously, though. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Next question.
So this one's coming from Shadowblade.
Ah.
So this is a hypothetical question here. If you had to put your trust in one of these 2 characters to protect you from danger, who would you pick? Alvin from Tales of Xillia, or Naesala from Fire Emblem Radiant?
Alvin.
Yeah, Alvin easily. I even like Naesala as a character, but I would not trust him.
Absolutely not. Like, I would not trust Naesala at all with my life.
I wouldn't trust Alvin either.
I wouldn't trust Alvin, but at least, like, Alvin can be predictable to the point where, at the very least, you can, like, try and come up with some sort of angle to get him on your side, you know, that kind of thing. But goodness gracious, you do not want to trust Naesala with your life.
With Naesala, first you have to make sure that he's not under any blood contracts. Yeah, not only... Because in both cases, you need to, like, figure out their motivations and what they're willing to betray you over. But Naesala doesn't even always make logical choices based on that, so...
Like, Naesala, at the end of the day, is, like, you know, does what he feels is best. But a lot of his motivations basically come down to selfishness. Whereas Alvin, at the very least... You eventually find out why he's such a betrayer, like, on all factions. And it's a legitimate reason, mind you. It doesn't justify what he's done. But once you get past that and once he actually, like, resolves that, Alvin's a reliable guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Alvin on this one. At the very least, I know he can, at the very least, I know he's a good shot.
I'd say Alvin's motivations are a little more grounded.
I failed to find the pun.
Because Naesala's are less grounded.
Ay, ay, ay.
Because he is a bird person. I mean, if you have to have Naesala around and you don't know if you can trust him, at least you could, like, keep a really good archer with you.
Really?
Yeah, just in case he ever tries to backstab you, just have them one-shot him.
Not you, that!
Oh.
No! Stop it!
That Bronto Burt, though. That's pretty funny. Okay, this next question is going to come from Weaver of Worlds.
Alright, sorry. Had to get that. I didn't know Bronto Burts could do that!
This might be the only time where that ever becomes relevant.
Yeah, apparently. Alright, your turn.
It's a one-use game mechanic.
Or go ahead.
Okay, Weaver of Worlds asks, do you two, do the 2 of you have any same-sex crushes in video games?
Certainly. I believe this is a response to the recent countdown I made. Top 10 crushes.
I think this question was posted before that, actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but, you kind of talk about video game crushes a lot, man.
Yeah. I made a whole countdown about it, okay?
Like, 3 in particular, but, yeah.
But, yes, actually, believe it or not. I remember having a conversation with Ignis about this, to be honest. Like, where, like, we would name, characters that, hey, like, yeah, we're heterosexual and whatnot, but...
If you had to pick a guy.
If we had to pick a guy...
And if she had to pick a girl.
Yeah, we've actually had that conversation before. We were having a very nice meal at, On the Border, while we were doing it. Oh, I thought you were gonna fall. Phew. Anyway, I like these missions, like, it forces me to kind of like think about like how to go about things. But anyway, yes, I have two in particular that I can think of off the top of my head. One I mentioned in my countdown, who is McCree. I think Jesse McCree is very smooth. He's really handsome. He's a smooth talker, that's for sure. Yeah, I really like him a lot. However, other than that, I would say the Iron Bull. Because goodness gracious, you are not going to find anyone as smooth, as charming, as, like, wonderfully loyal as the Iron Bull.
For how gruff he is, he's really kind and respectful.
He's kind, respectful. He's a giant teddy bear.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought of another one, actually.
You guys.
Yeah.
You got me.
I love the Iron Bull. Actually, now that I think about it, there is another one, and, also from a BioWare game. Freaking Garrus Vicarian. That guy is smooth.
He's a good dancer.
He's a very good dancer. Okay. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Sorry, I'm allergic to ships. No, actually, I'm allergic to cats, and Oscar's adorable cat is in the room with us, and it's kind of making me sneeze. He's a good kitty.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, I would say those three are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
I know this is gonna sound like a cheap answer, but I don't really. I've never really gotten like crushes really for video game characters. That's just not how I.
That's not how you roll.
That's not how I interact with my media. Really, it's just like a personal thing. I'm not trying to like shame it or anything.
Oh no, I didn't think you were, but that's just something that not a lot of people get into.
Yeah, even with girls, I just like never really had like crushes on. I'm more likely to get like, oh, this character is my child. Like that's how I was with Elise and Zilia. Like this is my daughter now. Aw, that was sad.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if Carrie ever gets... Oh, come on! Carrie!
If Carrie gets hurt?
Yeah, Carrie gets hurt, the time goes down. But, no, I can understand that. Like, the thing is, like, the way I see it is that if there's a character that, like, if there's a character I see and I think, oh yeah, like, this is a character that I would be attracted to, I kind of, like, go from there. Not that I would ever, like, actually find it possible to, like, you know, be interacting with these characters or anything like that. But, I don't know, like, to me, it's just a fun thing it's just a fun thing to think about.
I do have a same-sex celebrity crush, who is Chadwick Boseman.
Really?
Yeah, the actor who plays Black Panther.
Huh.
Yeah, he is my real world if I had to pick a guy.
Wow, I actually wasn't expecting that one. He is really awesome, though.
And I remember seeing Civil War, which is now one of my favorite movies. And I knew Black Panther was supposed to be in it, but I did not know... I had never heard of Chadwick Boseman, and I had never seen, like, the person who was supposed to be playing him. So I remember Chadwick Boseman being on screen and realizing just before they said his name was T'Challa, realizing, like, oh my god, he's the Black Panther. He's perfect.
Yeah. No, they could not have picked someone better for Black Panther.
Yeah.
He's great.
That is such good casting. This is part of what I think makes the MCU so good, is they just nail the casting on so many characters. So,
see, I might as well go ahead.
I wanted to give you that one so that you didn't think I was just trying to dodge giving a same-sex answer. That's not how it is.
It's fine, dude. Like, I'm heterosexual too. Like, I do, like, if I were given the opportunity to date those characters or to have, like, relations with them or anything like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like we're done with Carrie. Would I do it? Absolutely not. I am heterosexual. I like girls. Plus, I'm kind of spoken for right now.
You're also monogamous.
Yeah, like I am not going to be going that route. Like, I'm spoken for. Like, even if there was an opportunity to date,
but that's what makes it a crush.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily something you act on.
Exactly. Like, if I were given the opportunity to date any one of the 10 characters on the countdown that I made, I wouldn't take it because I'm spoken for. Would I take them out for coffee? Certainly. But that's about it. So, yeah, no, that was interesting. So, yeah, my answers to that would be Garrus, the Iron Bull, and Jesse McCurry.
I think those are good answers. They're also a pretty different set. It's interesting because they're all very different characters, but there's like a few things that are similar between them that like I wouldn't say you have a type, but
Yeah. Well, again,
like I can see it, is what I'm saying. And this next question is... I was very happy to see this question. This comes from the Dazzling Shell 101, who asks, who would win, some geeky mages or a tent? We have tested this before. The tent would win. But I mean, these have to be like really poorly trained geeky mages.
Oh my god, I love it!
And the tent would have to be at least partially flame retardant. But the tent would win.
That is a throwback to definitely a throwback to one of our best moments in the Fire Emblem
The
Let's Play,
mages
dude.
would tire themselves out, run out of charges on their tomes, and go home. Or run away when a Pegasus Knight flies over the horizon to get them.
Oh god, Florino was a hero there, but oh gosh, yeah. That's funny.
Very good question. I wanted to reward it.
That's great. I love it. But yes, the tent would win. Next question.
Slightly more serious question.
Alrighty then.
This comes from Patrick Keneally,
Yes.
who asks, who is your favorite and least favorite Danganronpa character from each game?
Oh boy!
It's sounding like I'm like super behind, but I have not played Danganronpa 3 yet.
I have not played Danganronpa 3 either.
No spoilers, please.
I am not, yeah, I'm not gonna...
That's another one that's been sitting on my desktop for a long time. I want to play with Allie, and we need to both, like, get the time together to play it.
If I were to choose my favorite character from, each one... Okay, so, let's go one game at a time. And it's only gonna be the first two, because those are the only ones that you and I have played, right?
Right.
So, for my least... I'm gonna start with least favorite, so we can end on a positive note.
Okay.
But, least favorite would probably be...
I'm having trouble thinking of a least favorite from the first one.
Yeah, me too,
I
frankly,
definitely
because
have
they're
my
all pretty...
least favorite from the second one. But...
Yeah, because they're all good, frankly, in the first one.
Yeah, that's
like...
a pretty... even the ones who are, like, annoying, I think are, like, well-written annoying. So, I'm going to choose... the problem is I can't even remember his name.
Do you want to bring up a list or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm having trouble remembering names too. Like, I definitely know the name of my favorite, but yeah, I'm having trouble remembering the names of every single one of them. Because, like, even characters that are hateable, like, are hateable for a reason. And by that logic, it's like, oh, hey, like, this is why they are this, and, like, it makes them interesting.
Okay, do you want me to go through a bunch of them?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, we have, Hina, the ultimate swimmer.
Right.
Byakuya, the, ultimate... What's the word used for... Well, he's the one I call Baron Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he...
the ultimate, like, businessman? No.
No, it's that he's going to, like, inherit, like, a huge business. He's going to, like, inherit a lot of money. Celeste, the ultimate gambler. Chihiro, the ultimate, computer programmer.
Right.
Hifumi, the ultimate, fanfic writer. Junko, the ultimate fashionista. Taka, the ultimate moral compass.
Right.
Or, yeah, it was like class representative or something, but I know in Japan they call him ultimate moral compass.
Right.
He's the guy who follows all the rules. He's like a hall monitor. Kyoko, the ultimate detective. Leon, the ultimate baseball player. Makoto, the ultimate lucky student. Mondo, the ultimate, like biker, like gang member.
Yeah, he's definitely not gonna be on my least favorite because he's great.
I know I'm not saying their titles right, but this is also getting into spoilers a little bit, by the way. So that being said, Mikuro, who turns out to be the 16th student, who is the ultimate soldier. Sakura, the ultimate martial artist. Sayaka, the ultimate teen idol. And Toko, the ultimate writer,
Right.
and Yasuhiro, the ultimate psychic.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters.
There's 16.
If I had to pick my least favorite from the original cast, I'd probably go with Hifumi.
Okay.
And that's nothing against him either. He's a great character, but of all the characters, I found him the least interesting and potentially the most annoying.
Yeah, he's at least, like, annoying in ways that I could find funny.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, he annoyed me, but he annoyed me in a way that I was like, okay, I get why he's annoying, and that doesn't bug me. Like, he was clearly written with this intent, you know what I mean? But, like, if I had to choose a least favorite, it would probably be Hifumi.
I think we're in full spoiler mode, too, because there's, like, no other way to talk about these characters.
Yeah, to be honest. So, spoiler alert for anyone who wants to play through Danganronpa fresh, because trust me, like, there's no way we can talk about this without including spoilers.
I did feel really bad when Hifumi died.
I will agree with you on that, yes.
And I like the way that he died, and it was super sad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my least favorite actually is Leon.
The baseball star?
Yeah, just because he's, to me, the most boring. He's the murderer of the first case.
Yeah.
And So, I mean, part of it is that he dies so early that we don't get to learn very much about him, but there just is not a lot to him. He's kind of just there to die first.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, Junko's seemingly the one who's there to die first, but surprise.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. We're not gonna get into that one. Yeah, that's a thing.
Leon's just kind of a dude, and I feel bad for him, too, because in a way, it's almost not completely his fault, but it is also his fault that he dies. You know, it's interesting enough, but it's not interesting because of who he is.
Like, he got roped into someone else's plot, but he took advantage of it.
Yeah, he's a victim of circumstance. He's also an opportunist. It's a good, like, show of how morally complicated the game is, but it has nothing to do with it being him. That could have been anyone.
Right. If I had to pick my favorite character, believe it or not, it's Hina.
Hina's great. She's
She's
definitely my top 3.
Yeah, she's optimistic. She just, she's trying her best. She manages to keep her cool in a lot of the worst scenarios in that game. And that speaks volumes, in my opinion.
She would have been my second or third pick for this game.
Yes. I really, really liked her. And she's the one I really grew attached to in school mode of Danganronpa 1. Like, she's great. Isn't her name, like, Aoi or something?
Yeah, it's Aoi Asahina, but they call her Hina for short.
That's right. Yeah, at
least in the English translation.
Yeah. Also, she's this really charming athlete girl who, kind of tomboyish, and I'm like, God damn it.
I'm drawing from the anime a little bit here, too, but, in the anime Danganronpa 3, when there's it picks up the story of what happens to the survivors of DR1 afterwards, and some of them get caught up into another game, and Hina and Makoto and Kyoko are all there, and Hina is just being a great friend the entire way through. Mm-hmm. They each have, stipulations where, each one of them has a rule that they can't break, otherwise they get killed instantly.
Right.
And Makoto's is he isn't allowed to run in the hall, which is very important because sometimes you're running away from people. So, Hina literally carries him through the halls whenever they need to run.
That's great.
She's such a team player.
Yeah, and, okay, so... to anyone who was curious about that, if I had to pick a Danganronpa crush, it would be Hina. So, there you have it.
I think we actually talked about her when we were forming the list.
I don't think we did. We talked about Persona characters, but we didn't talk about, Danganronpa or anything.
My favorite character, which might surprise people, is actually Byakuya.
Really?
Yeah, because I like his heel turn a lot, actually. It just kind of... Because he's being the loner the whole time. After the first case, he's the one who's like, oh, I understand how this game works. You're all sticking together because you don't want to murder anybody, but that's not the game. I'm going to go off on my own. I'm going to win this thing. He's being the loner. He's super smart. He's actually pretty good at solving cases on his own, except he always misses something. He makes the second case, really needlessly hard for you. But then not only is he one of the people who survives it, but after Sakura dies, after the case where you find out that she killed herself,
Yeah.
so that nobody else would have to die, he had this great impassioned speech where he, being kind of tsundere and trying to act like it's not because I like you guys or anything. So instead he says to Monokuma, like, Monokuma, I've decided that this game is unfair and I'm not going to participate anymore. If other players are going to be acting out of emotion, then tactics cannot exist here. I refuse to participate in a game.
Yeah,
that's unfair.
I will admit that's really cool.
And it's just and
that kind of like puts it all into perspective.
He's an asshole with a heart of gold.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like he kind of takes the ruling of, he kind of takes the weapon that Monokuma uses, and that's like playing with the emotions of these kids, and he kind of turns it against him.
He's also he also gets to play the straight man in a lot of great conversations, which is always fun. You need somebody to be that guy.
Yeah, no, I will admit, Byakuya would definitely be up there as like one of my favorite Danganronpa characters. I will say that. As for Danganronpa 2,
has much higher highs and lower lows for me.
Oh, absolutely, I completely agree. My least favorite. Oh boy.
You want me to pull up another list?
Please do.
Okay, Danganronpa 2 characters.
Yeah, we're kind of just trekking through this. This is gonna be like one of our long episodes.
Search. Okay, so we have another 16 characters.
Right.
We have Akane, the ultimate gymnast. We have quote-unquote Byakuya, Byakuya Togame, who turns out to be the unnamed ultimate disguise artist.
Right.
Chiaki, the ultimate gamer. Fuyuhiko, the ultimate mafia boss.
Yeah.
The ultimate Yakuza, that's what
Yakuza, that's it.
Gundam, the ultimate animal tamer. Hajime, who you don't know who he is for a while, but he's he's the main character.
Yeah.
And he has no ultimate. He was like a student in the like B class where they started accepting people without special talents. But then he also turns out to have been an experiment where he's the ultimate hope.
Right.
And also kind of the ultimate despair, and it's complicated. Hyoko, the ultimate cultural dancer. Ibuki, the ultimate rock star. Kazuichi, the ultimate mechanic.
Right.
Kyoko... Oh, no, that's a returning character. Mahiru, the ultimate photographer. Mikan, the ultimate nurse. Nagito, the ultimate lucky student. What? I did not know this character appeared in this game. Okay.
Huh.
Oh, no, that's Fuyuhiko's little sister.
Oh, I was going to say.
Nekomaru, the ultimate, the ultimate team coach.
Right.
Peko, the ultimate swordsman or swordswoman.
Right.
Sonia, the ultimate princess. Teruteru, the ultimate chef. Or no, I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So let's see.
I know my least favorite easily.
Go ahead.
Mikan, the ultimate nurse. I hate her.
Yeah, for me,
yeah,
I gotta go with her too, because like the thing is, it was really between her and Sonya Nevermind, but
I kind of really like Sonya actually.
Again, that's the thing, like Sonya has things that I dislike, but there are reasons behind it, and I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mikan, she's super timid all the time, and that's not even the part about it that bothers me.
Yeah, like, I don't mind timid characters, mind you, but goodness gracious.
The running joke is she's really nervous and she's really hypersexualized, where the running joke is she always falls over in compromising positions, and you get a lot of upskirt shots with her, and it is not classy.
I mean, if you're...
I didn't find it funny, and I found her voice annoying, and I just don't... I only have so much patience for, like, seeing a character over and over again be like, oh no, and being, you know, sexually taken advantage of.
Like...
Even if not physically.
It just feels like she was just placed in just for the sake of the sex jokes.
She gets a little more interesting in the case where she's the murderer, because it's like she gets a virus and it makes her start to remember who she was before, which is your clue that, like, so you meet, like, the despair version of her, basically.
Right.
Where she's being kind of a huge sociopath, and she's, like, being really distant, and that, like, version of her is actually kind of interesting. But it's not like the main version of her that you get to know, and the main version of her you get to know is really annoying, and I don't use this word lightly. Like, I'm not trying to be a prude about there being sexual content in games or characters being sexy or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really problematic, and I'm not okay with it.
Like, if it was a running gag, like, if it was a running gag, like, that was a side thing, but it turns out, like, you know... It would have been cooler, in my opinion, if she was, like... I'm not saying timid characters can't be, you know, sexually appealing or whatnot, but there has to be a reason behind it. Like, if she was this character who...
They made it really clear all the time that she did not want to be sexualized.
And therein lies, like, what would have been better, in my opinion, is if, like, she was this nurse, and yeah, she was sexy, and she fell into all these compromising positions, but then it would have been a lot more interesting if, like, she stayed in that compromising position and owned it.
I thought it was going to turn out that she actually really liked when this happened.
Yeah,
and
that would have made the character 10 times more interesting, because, oh, she actually does it because she wants to gain favor with the rest of the class, and it's like, oh, well, hey, like, if I get killed, then you guys are not going to be able to see me like this anymore. You don't want that, do you? That would have made her so much more interesting.
And they don't even really play with that. Like, maybe... You can maybe interpret that that's, like, part of her character, that she, like... That she, like, quote-unquote, actually wants it. It brings up so many uncomfortable implications.
Unfortunately.
And I know it's Japan and it's different there, but she's, like, 14.
Yeah. As for favorite character, this one's easy for me.
I think I have my pick, too. It's a close tie.
Yeah, it's a close tie for me, too, I'll admit. But, yeah, one character in particular I just love. I
like I think Chiaki. I think I'm gonna say Chiaki.
Chiaki?
Yeah, Ultimate Gamer.
For me, Gundam Tanaka.
He's my other one.
Gundam Tanaka is amazing. For me, it was between Gundam Tanaka and Fuyuhiko Kazuria.
I figured that would have been one of yours.
Yeah, because Fuyuhiko is just interesting. Like, I love the fact that he's like this small dude with a baby face, but he has to be like this really threatening Yakuza, and goodness gracious, he has such a good connection with some of the other characters.
And he's kind of the Byakuya of Danganronpa 2.
Absolutely.
Where he's the one who has to come around and...
Absolutely, but yeah, no, like, I have to go with Gundam Tanaka because, like, he's barrels of fun, he's entertaining, and when you really start analyzing the character, he becomes really interesting, and, like, it becomes fun digesting why he is the way he is. It's really cool. So yeah, I definitely gotta go with Gundam. Close second is definitely Fuyuhiko. I will admit, though, I also do love Chiaki. She's really fun.
Yeah, and she's your sidekick, kind of. She turns out to be really brave. I just think she's funny how she's, like, falling asleep all the time. She games so much that she falls asleep. She, like, loses focus a lot when people are talking to her. She's, like, socially awkward, and she, yeah, sometimes she's not really listening, and in a weird way I can relate to that a lot, of, like, not always being sure how to respond to things.
Yeah, no, I can totally get behind that, too.
And I won't get into it because we don't really need to, even though we're full spoilers, but then there's a lot of really interesting things about her and her backstory. She was the character who I figured out when they started talking about, like, one of us here is a spy. I knew it was her right away, because out of all the characters still alive, she was the best, she was the most well-adjusted. And I was like, oh, there's gotta be something wrong with you, because you seem to have it all together.
Yeah.
Everybody else has some kind of huge problem, and you're way too comfortable.
Oh, that's some cool wallpaper. Alright, so that was a very long question. Let's move on to another one. We still got a bit to go here.